Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This video is on chapter 2, and it will again cover enterprise systems that we have introduced last Monday. When we talked about enterprise systems, we said that enterprise systems is like umbrella systems. They provide support for all functional areas within an organization. So they do not target a specific functional area, but actually they look at processes, business processes. And last time we said in most business processes, you can hardly find them localized or centralized in just one department. Usually they span several departments. So the advantage of using enterprise systems is integration. You integrate across the business units. And the way that enterprise systems do this is through their central database. They have one database where all the information reside, and thus it is easy to share knowledge across the organization. The second thing is these systems really focus on business processes. They do not focus on a functional area, as we said. The whole focus on the business process from start until end. So when we talk about selling to a customer, it starts all the way from getting an inquiry from a customer, a question, someone interested in buying a product. And the system supports every single step of the process all the way until you get payment from the customer. So enterprise systems are umbrella systems. They support all functional areas within an organization. The way that they do that is through integrating different modules together and having a central database where all information, whether it is information about material, about customer, about transactions like orders, all of this information reside in one central database. So the objective of this chapter is again to review with you the benefits of enterprise system, to see how enterprise systems support, as we said, a business process rather than a particular functional area. So we are not supporting just finance or supporting sales or supporting HR. We are supporting a business process. And because business processes span across the enterprise, they do not focus on one area, but rather go across functional areas. We will see that these enterprise systems integrate the different business units. We'll talk about the different data that reside within the database. Some of the data are called persistent data or master data. They continue to reside within the database 1 year to the next, whereas some data is temporary. They once, like after a business cycle ends, like end of the year or end of a semester, the information is purged outside of the database. Purged means taken out, and they go into a historical database rather than the transactional database. So we'll talk about these differences, the difference between transactional data and master data. And then we'll talk about the importance of reporting within ERP system and how ERP systems support executives at the top. Because an executive at the top is not really interested in the little details or the individual transactions. They want to look at the status of the organization. And of course, the status will not be affected by individual transactions, but rather by a group of transactions, unless it is a very big, like one big transaction that has an instrumental effect on the organization. So enterprise systems, we said, are complex systems. They are very large systems. that span the whole organization, span across the organization, providing, as we said, modules or support for every single functional area within the organization. They tend to view the organization as a unit that supports a business process. So there is no focus on the functional area. The focus is on supporting the business process from start until end. So if we look at HR, for example, you will see that the HR module start with creating actually the organizational structure. The organizational structure says who is at the very top of the organization, what are the different departments that I have, who is responsible for each department, and then who are the employees that work within each department. So one of the key elements or key features of HR would be creating the organizational structure. And then we have the employees, and we create profiles for the employees. And the profile, as we said, determine what kind of access does the employee have within the system. Determines two things, really. One is what kind of access do they have, what do they get to see. And the second thing is the role, which also affect what they can do within the system. And that's why enterprise systems are called role-based. They are role-based, meaning that depending on the role that I play within the organization, I get to see specific features in there. And also based on my profile, I'm allowed to do certain things, and I am prevented or limited in doing others. And that's really a key advantage of enterprise systems, is that there is a lot of controls, internal controls within the system that prevent fraud, for example. And also there is embedded segregation of duties. The system already comes with it. So as I said, if you are an accounts receivable clerk, then there is no way that you can also look at the accounts payable at the same time. The system prevents that. Again, if you are someone responsible for placing orders, you cannot also receive. You cannot be in purchasing and receiving at the same time. Because if you have that kind of a role, then you have a conflict. You have a conflict because at that time you are able, for example, to commit fraud, and the system will not be able, or the organization will not be able to catch things like that. So enterprise systems are complex, as we said. They are very powerful systems. They focus on a business process rather than a particular functional area, and they support the process from start until end. The key benefits of enterprise systems is integration, allowing knowledge sharing, also things like role-based. The system create profiles for each individual user and determine what kind of role an employee can play and what they can do within the system. Okay. Other benefits, of course, there is support for multiple currencies. There are support for multiple languages. So if you are a multinational organization, then you have all of that kind of support for you. One subsidiary can have the whole system in Arabic, another subsidiary can run in German, and a third can be in English, a fourth can be in French, and so on. Same thing, even if you are residing within one country, but you are getting products from suppliers all over the world, and you have to pay with multiple currencies, then the system support all of these different currencies.